Kamiyah Mobley, you likely know her story. Stolen from a Jacksonville hospital at birth and raised under the name Alexis Manigo in South Carolina. The 19-year-old, still adjusting to her new identity, had an explosive confrontation on reality TV.
No, because I'm not staying here. Y'all I'm going. Daddy, I'm about to get the out of here. I'm not doing this to these people. I'm not doing this. I'll curse the like, I'm about to swing on this. Then you got some bitch. Like, I'll stab out this.
Mobley stormed off the set of the show Fix My Life on the Oprah Winfrey Network. At one point, the 19-year-old hailed expletives at the host and threatened her several times. This happened after she was told to stay in the therapy house overnight and that her father and boyfriend would not answer her phone calls. Many of us were seriously disturbed by her outbursts. Now, as the show aired on the OWN network, Kamiyah's father, Craig Aiken, he watched and responded to it on Facebook Live. He answered questions and gave viewers a play-by-play of what was happening behind the scenes. Aiken says his daughter was pushed by the host for an emotional response. He also said the show was fake and heavily edited. Now, I sat down with Kamiyah in January for a one-on-one interview, and she was upbeat and jovial then. In case you missed it, that interview right now is on our website, firstcoastnews.com. She opens up about her life 1 year after being reunited with her birth parents.